Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are going to be building a fence for the dogs. We're going to be pouring concrete, bringing in gravel, and obviously building the fence. That way our dogs have a nice secure spot that they can enjoy. Let's jump into the video. Today we are going to be setting up for the concrete footing that's going to hold this fence. So we are going to be coming 18 feet off the house on both ends, and we're 32 feet long. So it's going to be an 8-inch curb so it matches the other side of the house, and then we will do our 4x4 posts and pickets on top of this curb. That way they can't dig underneath it and it'll last a lot longer. All right, we got the outside form set. I'm gonna make some sort of a spacer so I can just do a quick and easy 8-inch spacing on this inside form and get it set up really fast. There are a few spots that's a little bit deeper, like here. I'm just gonna fill all that in with concrete, just make it a little more secure, put it on the good soil instead of some fill. And then I'm gonna do some rebar. So I'm gonna get some 90-degree pieces, pound them into the ground, and that'll tie into the horizontal rebar that goes all the way around. And then at the sidewalk here, and the foundation there, I'm gonna drill an epoxy, a little piece of rebar to tie it into the house there. So I'm gonna throw you guys up on the tripod. We're gonna get some rebar in here before we set this second form, and hopefully we can get this finished up today. All right, well, me and my dad were able to get these forms set in like 45 minutes. It's already getting dark right now. We just had the fall time change, so it's like not even 5 o'clock right now, and it's almost dark. So I've got a mess to clean up, but all the forms are set. I'm gonna get some dirt or gravel around this outside edge. That way when we vibrate this concrete, it doesn't just pour out of the sides. But it's looking good. We got a little bit of rain this week. Hopefully it dries up by Friday. We'll get this poured, and then we will start doing the cedar fence. All right, so I just had a load of 3/4 minutes delivered today. This is different than the stuff I have out in my driveway. This is a little bit more round and it's not as fractured. So this is what is gonna be inside of the dog fence. We're gonna do a weed barrier and then probably 6 to 8 inches of this gravel. That way, if the dogs are outside when it's raining, they're not getting all muddy and tracking it in the shop. And then we'll do some sort of kind of like a rug with some turf, and we'll staple it down so they have a soft spot to lay. But in the meantime, well, it's all muddy back there and I can't do anything, I'm going to shovel out all of this dirt. So some of you guys know this is a planter box. We're gonna dig it all out. I'm gonna do 4 to 6 inches of 3/4 minus gravel, and then we're gonna do concrete and just pour it in so this can be a spot for chairs and a little bigger walkway. We also have the sewer clean out here. So I'm gonna extend this up with a piece of 4-inch, and then we're gonna do a tom cap, flush mount with the concrete. All right, we got the gravel backfilled in here. We got the drain to grade. That's all glued now. I have a hammer drill and some rebar. I'm gonna go into the foundation in a few spots and also into the sidewalk in a few spots, just to keep this little pad floating. And then I'm gonna go back to the backyard, and I'm also gonna tie it into the sidewalk and the foundation over there. So let's hurry and get these drilled in. To anchor this rebar into the concrete, I'm gonna be using the Simpson Strong Tie anchoring adhesive. All right, guys, we got all of this extra ripped down plywood on the bottom. That way the concrete's not gonna pour out from underneath the forms. Kind of just a bunch of scraps thrown together, but at least I'm using this wood for something. I have a little bottle of diesel, just a spray bottle, and I'm just going through and I'm spraying the forms. You can see here it's done. and here it's not. This is gonna help these forms come off a lot easier and leave a cleaner finish on the concrete. So we got about 30 minutes till concrete will be here. We're gonna spray all this with diesel, and then we're gonna get the mud poured. Well, we're done for the night. The sun is setting. I'm happy with the final product. Everything here looks great, and everything in the backyard turned out great. I'm really happy with how this curb and the patio turned out. You can see over here where it was a little bit deeper, how that extra form kind of made a little bit of a footing for the curb. I'm just waiting for the fabric to come before we backfill this. I'm gonna wait 7 or 10 days before I start drilling my post brackets into this. So in the meantime, I'm gonna go work on the siding, which is another video I'm working on. I'm not sure what video will come out first, but here's a little sneak peek of the lap siding, if you haven't already seen it. And then again, the little patio area. So yeah, I'm really happy with how this turned out. It all looks good. This will be cut flush, and then we'll put a little flush cap on there. This will be a little seating area with maybe a little table or something. So looks good, and I'll see you guys another day. All right, so you can see that the dog kennel got pushed back this way. That leaves this large area right here. This is where I'm gonna be able to store stuff. So this is also gonna get the weed barrier and gravel. I'm gonna be able to store stuff on the house there and along the fence here, and it'll be out of sight. Over here, we have a few containers and a few pallets with a chain link fence. So in preparation for this, Vever Tools sent me out some pallet forks for the front of the tractor bucket. So they're over there in a package. Let's go check them out and open them up. All right, here we have the package. As you open it up, you can see both the forks here. Now I have had a cheaper version of these from a different manufacturer that broke pretty much instantly. They're rated to lift 4,000 pounds. So we're gonna open them up. Let's get them set right here on this trailer. We'll use this as a workbench. We'll pull the tractor around and we'll be able to pick them right up and we can test them out. All right, this looks like a really easy setup. We're gonna take both these stabilizer bars, we're gonna slide them down each fork and then they connect. That's gonna set your width of your forks. So we're gonna hurry and slide those on. All right, this just comes with really easy wing nuts here to tighten these. So your stabilizer bar and then your forks. And something I like about this is where you mount this to the bucket, it actually has double bolts pushing down on it. It also comes with these mounting plates that you'll slide between your bucket and these bolts, or I guess these nuts. That'll give you a bigger surface clamping area for a bigger lift rating. But these are really, really heavy and they look like they're gonna be super heavy duty. So I'm gonna pull the tractor over here and let's get these forks mounted up. right, these things worked awesome. I'm gonna leave a link to these down in the description below if you wanna get your own set. So there wasn't a lot of room right here to come in and pick up pallets like this along the house. So I'm just gonna stack my pallets accordingly so that I can use these forks in an easier way. But those are awesome, and I will see you guys another day when we start the fence build. All right, guys, well, it's been a few days. I'm just getting home from work and the sun has already set. So it's a good thing we got these floodlights on the house. We're gonna jump on the tractor. We're gonna use these forks again. They work super good. We are gonna move this stuff off the house, and we are gonna take this weed barrier. We're gonna lay some down here and lay some down here, and we can bring that 3/4 gravel in here and start filling this in. Vever Tools also sent me this weed barrier. This is actually a driveway fabric, but it is also a weed barrier. So it's pretty thick, it looks really nice. This roll is 13 feet by 108 feet. So once we start rolling this out, you'll see this is actually only half of the width. So you'll roll it out and then you fold it over. So we've got enough to do this entire dog kennel, and we're gonna put a nice layer of gravel down here. So let's jump on the tractor, hurry and get this stuff moved, and then lay down some fabric. All right, I just used some normal scissors to cut this stuff, and now you can see that we can fold the entire thing over. So 13 feet wide, 108 feet long. This is a massive roll, and you can see it right here. All right, now this driveway fabric, it is a weed barrier, and that's the primary use of me using it right here. But also something that helps is that when I put 3/4 minus gravel on top of this, because the base is like a clay topsoil, it's gonna make it so that gravel doesn't try to seep down into the ground and disappear. So hopefully this will catch all that gravel that's trying to seep down into the ground. It won't allow weeds through, and it'll be awesome. So eventually I would like to do this whole road that goes around with this driveway fabric. So we're gonna be using a lot of this stuff in the future. It looks like a good product, and I will keep you guys updated. That will also be linked in the description below if you wanna try some out. And at the walls, I am leaving it going up the wall a little bit and also on the curb. And then that way, hopefully the weeds don't try to come out on the side. I already had some of these metal staples. This probably isn't required, but just while I'm setting this up, I'm gonna put a few of these in the corners just so I can pull it tight. And we're gonna hurry and get some gravel on this so that we can drive over the top of this and spread the rest of the gravel in here. I wanted to give a huge shout out to Vever Tools for sending me some of these products. I'm going to leave the pallet forks, the weed barrier or driveway fabric, and also the 4x4 post bases linked in the description below, so if you guys want to check it out. Let's get back into the video. All right, we got the first layer of fabric down in here. This is gonna be 13 feet by 18 feet. And this is how much gravel we have on for here. So like I said, the grade's high here, so I'm not gonna put any gravel here. I'm gonna take the end of this, fold it over, put the rock on it, and I probably won't get to the rest of this until spring. But what's important right now is getting the dog kennel done. So I'm gonna go grab some gravel and fill this up. All right, guys, we got a little preparation for the dirt work today. I gotta remove this part of the fence so we can scoop out this area here. But before we do that, I'm gonna open the app, iDevice, because it's already getting dark at 5:19 right now. We're gonna turn on the eave lights and the floodlights. Now you can see that we're clear above grade all the way across there. So we're gonna remove that, put down some more driveway fabric, and bury it with gravel. I'm gonna grab the roll. I'm gonna start down there, do this long piece, and then we'll cut a little piece for there and a little piece for here. And then I'll throw you guys up on the tripod. We'll hurry and lay some gravel out here so we can finally start setting these posts. All right, guys, it's another day on the fence project. Hopefully, I'm gonna be done with this today. You can see we got the pressure treated 4x4 posts. We got the pressure treated 2x4s. And these are the pickets that we decided to use. These are already pre-oiled and they're squared off on the top instead of having the angle cuts. That's how we wanted it. Now for the gate, I just bought this kit from Home Depot. Comes with all the hinges and latches and everything you need to build a gate. So this should make that really easy. And then before we put the 4x4 posts into the base, we are gonna dip them in some tar just to give the bottom an extra coating. All right, for the post bases, we're gonna be using these from Vever Tools. I will also leave a link to these down in the description below. They're only $70 or $80 for a 10 pack, and they even come with all the hardware you need to mount them. I have a couple plastic shims here just to make sure we get these perfectly level. So I'm gonna grab the hammer drill, throw you guys up on a time lapse, and we're gonna hurry and anchor all these post bases in. All right, I finally got all these post bases in. Now, because we're gonna be holding these up off the ground and have a top plate go all the way across the top of the post, I'm gonna do my posts at 70 inches. So I'm gonna grab a few of these, I'm gonna cut them at 70, dip them in this tar, and then push them down in here. So we got all of the support bars across here. Now to lay out these pickets, we're gonna lay one flat on the bottom. That'll give us about an inch and we'll keep it up off the concrete so the bottom of these never absorb water. And then we can just set these on here. We're gonna brad nail them to hold them in place, and then I'm gonna chalk a line all the way across. That way all the screws are perfectly straight. What are you doing, Christian? All right, so we got this little spacer here. This is what we're using to gap these boards. Every 5 or so, we're gonna re-level it, make sure they look good and are staying straight. You can see we got it a little bit off the ground, roughly the same spacing. As they dry and shrink a little bit, they'll twist a little bit, so we don't gotta get that super perfect. But we're tacking it with the brad nailer, and then like I said earlier, we'll chalk a line and screw it off. This is my cousin Riley. He came up here and helped me build the fence and pour the concrete. A huge shout out to him for his help. He just started a YouTube channel and he is also building a shop house. His channel name is GenZ123. I'll leave a link in the description below. Let's hurry up and get this fence finished. Alright guys, we are almost done with the pickets. We have about 4 or 5 more left right there. And then all we have to do is move on to the gate. So like I said before, this is kind of like a pre-made gate kit. It's got everything we need. We should probably be able to assemble this in the shop and get it ready and bring it out here. I don't know if you can tell from video, but it's starting to rain right now. So we're gonna build this in the shop and we're gonna be able to finish this up tonight and the dogs will be able to enjoy this. So let's hurry and get it finished up. But what I can do with this is how tall our 4x4 is going to need to be. All right, we have a 4x4 post mounted here. This is only 5 feet tall because that's all that the metal part of the gate is going to mount to. So no need to go 6 feet like the rest of the gate. Now with this being furred out, this should land pretty close to the face of this with the pickets. Now we can take our measurement from here to here now, and we can go inside and build the gate. So we are going to be we'll go about 67.5 inches overall. All right, guys, well, this gate kit wasn't wide enough for the door that we made here. So we just kind of used parts and pieces of it and made it work. But we have messed around with it enough to where it actually latches. So I'll show you guys the latching mechanism here. So it works really good. Then you unlatch it and pop it open. So we have this piece of cable running across from the top to the bottom here. That's going to keep this side from starting to sag. And if it does start to sag, there's a turnbuckle here. You can tighten it up, pull it back up straight. It started raining. It's really wet and cold outside right now, so we're going to call it a night. But all that's left is finishing off the pickets on here and one picket over there and a bunch of cleanup, and then the fence will be done. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right, guys, here's a look at the outside of the gate. You can't even tell where the latch is or where the hinges are or anything. I love the way this turned out. You can kind of see it here if I point it out. The latches are there, the hinges are there. The latch is there. So we'll come up to it, push this down, pop it open. Now, because of the added weight of the pickets, I did have to tension up this cable a little bit. Pulled the latch right up tight, right where it needed to be. Works perfect. And I actually ended up having the exact amount of boards that I needed, which is crazy. I'm super happy there was no waste and I didn't have to go pick up anything else. So I'm gonna grab the chalk line. I'm gonna chalk line all the way across these screw spots, and then I can go back through and finally secure these in their final position. All right, guys, well, thanks for watching the video. I still have to go through and put all the screws in these pickets and pick up some of the wood mess, but it's boring. I'm not going to include it in the video. So thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.